universe is nearly 500 miles long. You're not going to believe this. Over 1,000 stars. Len, come on, liven it up. And still, only known intelligent life is right here on our planet.
What was that? That's our planet after the attack of the maniacs. They're gonna eat our brains for dinner. Is that true?
Everybody, please, that's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Brains for dinner? Come on. Brains are for breakfast with cereal and milk. Dinner's organs and eyeballs. Okay, everyone.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop.
Oh, you know, he looks just like his father. Just like his father.
And when he does a shaky, rocky dance, man, I haven't got a chance.
I do have a chance.
Did you hear it?
Yes, I did hear it.
I like those cars.
No, we can't like anything that aliens.
That's funny.
That's cool, guys.
The largest, most complicated machine ever created by humankind. And its role is to help us study the frontier of particle physics. What it actually does is it accelerates protons in two directions around the ring, one way round and the other way around, to nearly the speed of light, and then collides them.
The collider went operational in November 2009. And as scientists ramped up the power, the energy in its collisions was increased almost tenfold by March 2010. And it will double that sometime after 2013. Today's theories of space, time, gravity, and quantum physics are still incomplete. And tools like the Large Hadron Collider will help fill in the ever-puzzling blanks.
This is where we expect that if there's some missing physics that we need to understand space-time in a way that will tell us whether time travel is possible or restricted in various ways, this is where we expect the new results to come from.
The goal is to figure out how rules governing the tiniest particles in existence also apply to the biggest things, like stars.
Time travel that we think of, where we perhaps go through a portal or flick a lever on a machine and then end up at a different time.
Physicists did important theoretical work on instantaneous time travel in the 1980s, while helping Carl Sagan, who was writing his novel Contact. The book imagines space
In the future. So it's an interesting possibility that we don't actually have to create these things.
But what if we are left to our own resources? Can we build a time machine at all? If theory says a wormhole is the way to go, then what does it take to make one?
CERN.
Wormholes are speculative ideas. We can
I've
write
never
down
seen this
equations
before, but
that
I
describe them. We don't
Probably.
expect to bump into one in astronomy or anything like that, but we could be surprised. Where we do expect wormholes to exist is at the sub-microscopic level, where space and time are fluctuating
I bet they
wildly.
talk about
So what
CERN.
people imagine is somehow capturing a microscopic wormhole and growing it to a larger size. We don't know if that's possible. We have no idea how to do that, but that's probably
whatever,
what
yeah,
it would
you
take
do.
if you wanted a big-sized wormhole.
The technology we need to manipulate a wormhole may seem impossibly remote. But for those willing to let their imaginations roam, there's a glimmer of hope in at least one place. Is where space,
Oh my gosh, it's CERN right
nature
there.
of existence itself meet in head-on collisions inside the biggest, most
I knew
complex machine ever created by man.
There it is, guys. I knew it. I had a feeling they're gonna talk about CERN. Oh my gosh. And it's over. Okay.
Where does the universe hide the secrets that might tell us how to travel in time? Our exploration has taken us through the world of wormholes and their possibilities as time machines. And now we're in search of the technology that might make space travel and
my
time
God.
travel two sides of the same
They've
coin.
already got this done. You know they're gonna talk about it.
If there's nothing on Earth that comes close to being a time machine now, there is something that might one
Oh my
day
goodness.
lead us to new
No
laws
way.
of physics that help us determine if it's at least possible. It explores the universe not in the realm of the cosmic web and its galaxies, but in the domain of quantum physics, involving particles at sizes more than 1 million times smaller than the smallest atom. It's
So now if I walk into the end of the wormhole that's in the past, the end that didn't go on the rocket ship, I can come out the other end and I'd be in the future. Although each step of this scenario might be really hard to achieve with any technology we can imagine, it's all internally consistent in the laws of gravity and space and time that we understand.
Here you go, Gio. Gio?
A great analogy
Still
is
can't
with
say your
that of
name.
a surfer riding a wave of seawater. So just as the wave behind it sort of rises up and pushes this surfer through the ocean, I think it's a great analogy with how a spacecraft is mutually
Baby's having
pushed
fun.
through the fabric of space.
The idea is based in part on the fact that space in the universe is expanding. If we can make it expand at will, we may be able to propel a warp ship. We make space expand behind the ship and make it contract in front. The wave of warp space moves through the universe faster than light, while inside a so-called warp bubble, the ship is a passenger.
Buffering.
From the future back into the past where you started.
I'm so confused.
Well, let's face it, most people are interested in the idea of going backwards in time because they want to fix things. The interesting thing is, though, that we can, using the laws of physics, at least explore what it would be like to travel backwards in time.
And
Okay,
although
but
we're
then-
preoccupied with time machines,
What?
it may be that
Tell
time
Brooklyn.
travel is possible through
Tell
wormholes
Brooklyn.
that are natural in origin.
I'm coming.
Is to have worked on the concept of faster-than-light warp drive. A warp ship, he says, writing off warp drive completely. Warp bubbles may be impossible, they say. But what about super advanced beings building faster-than-light warp drive bullet trains to the stars?
Woo! Down you is.
A wormhole is a kind of shortcut between two different parts of space, which can be very far away, or they can actually be close to each other. But the key idea is that you can traverse the wormhole by simply going in through the entrance, one side of it, and coming out the other side.
In Contact and many other science fiction scenarios, wormholes are used as tunnels to travel huge distances across the universe to other stars. But a wormhole with openings close together is a much better starting point for a time machine.
Suppose I have a wormhole right next to me. If I put my arm into it like this, it would
Hey
emerge
guys,
over
I'm
there.
51. I'm so confused about
A wormhole is a great
everything.
ingredient for constructing a time machine.
A wormhole time machine would use the same Rip Van Winkle trick as the very fast spaceship. Super speed makes your clock slow down, while everyone else keeps on going. It works because both ends of the wormhole always have the same date and time, no matter what happens to them.
You can take one end of the wormhole and put it on a rocket ship or something and send it off at very high speed and then back. So what happened?
While warp drive is mostly science fiction at this point, there is some physics behind it. Mexico, in this respect, the Large Hadron Collider is leading the way, even if its first step is an extremely small one.
What are you
The
doing?
Large Hadron Collider is 17 miles around, and it accelerates protons from the inside. If you wanted to do that, but with human beings, a rough calculation shows you'd have to scale